Hey everybody, Xeno back here for some more Mega Man 1 Game Boy, or Dr. Wily's Revenge, whatever you want to call it. Last time we took on 3 of the first 4 Robot Master stages, excluding Fireman. This time we're going to end the game. It is quite short, as I mentioned. As I was saying, Fireman stage has a little bit better fire theming in some aspects, as far as the enemy selection goes, due to an inclusion that I think is pretty interesting. I mean, it couldn't have been done retroactively, because it's a Mega Man 2 enemy, but the chain key makers do fit nicely in this stage, and they should be making their appearance shortly. The tackle fires in this version are more of a gimmick, which is kind of neat. They don't take damage the same way they do in the NES version, but I actually like their use as an obstacle, maybe even a little more than the original, to be honest. It's pretty neat. I like it when stuff gets repurposed in a way that's maybe a little bit more intuitive for the hardware. It's like having a bunch of sprites flying everywhere at the top. I get kind of annoying. Here are the chain key makers, which I think more than make up for the tackle fires being used as gimmicks. These guys really fit right in. It genuinely boggles my mind that they weren't used in Heatman stage in Mega Man 2. Very, very strange to me. Never won't be. Not a whole lot to say about this stage, though, really. The fire beams aren't present, and neither are the fire waves, but this stage does get a different fire-related mechanic that is equally underused, in my opinion, funnily enough. No color change on the fire beam when it gets frozen, which I think is kind of a downside, because you can't really tell if it's frozen or not, minus your own memory. So, slight negative there. But overall, it's fairly serviceable. Another chain key maker here. Gotta dispatch him however possible. Huh. Thunderbeam just completely dodged that. Interesting. Whoa. It's still as good as ever. I haven't been using it much. I've been a little biased towards Rolling Cutter so far, but Thunderbeam is great. Here's the strange mechanic, this fire spike, which just travels along the floor like this. It's a little hard to dodge. And then the same setup, but in the opposite direction. Nothing terribly complicated. Again, underused in my opinion. Kind of just shows up and then is never spoken of again in any major capacity. That's fine though. Little oddities like that are always part of the fun with classic Mega Man. Things that are programmed in to be used once ever. Alright, I don't know why it takes Thunderbeam so long to... Okay, oh, it's because the projectiles. One interesting thing about the firing animations in this game is that every weapon, as far as I can tell, is thrown when used on the ground. It's very weird. I think Quick Boomerang may be the only exception. But other than that, like, Mega Man throws the Ice Slasher in this, which is bizarre. Also, Fireman killed me. That's alright, though. Fireman is also quite a bit easier than the NES version. I believe all you have to do is jump. Yeah. As long as you have good timing on your jumps, he can't really do anything to you. And he's dead. That's what happens when you remove the little ember thing that's left behind. He's a shell of his former self. Nothing much interesting to say about Firestorm that hasn't been already said universally about the other weapons. It is also thrown, per my comment from like 20 seconds ago. Time for Wily. After just 4 stages, too. I really meant it when I said this game was short. So here we have the first Wily stage. If you pause, you'll notice that you now have an item called CA, which is Carry. It's this platform that spawns underneath you. And peculiarly and annoyingly, you can't pause to get rid of it early. You kind of have to deal with it. But it will be essential. It uses energy up over time, which is kind of peculiar. But it's going to be a vital utility over these last couple of stages. Doesn't kill them? Okay. Some of the damage tables in this are a little odd. The Susies were always pretty vulnerable to everything in the base game. There we go. These Wily Stages just kind of put together everything that we already saw about 5 minutes ago. In, like, literal time, it's only been, like, maybe 20 minutes since I started playing, I think. Alright, nice. I wasn't sure if that big guy was going to die fast enough. We get moles from Mega Man 2, which is kind of cool. Not really. This part's just as annoying as the mole segments in that game. You can farm a little bit of energy here, though, which might be useful. God, these things do so much damage. Do they take any more damage from fire? Yeah, proceed with caution to whatever extent is possible. These things do way more damage than I thought they did. Gotta inch slowly, one step at a time. Is it over? Yeah, not really the most thrilling thing, those moles. By the way, make sure to move to the right, or the left here, unless you want to die. Real nice trick by the game. Oh, and real nice to fall in a Chanky Maker. Also stay to left there if you want to die. Or, unless you want to die. That's what I was talking about with the mean tricks. I always remember that one because it's just the layout of the room with the spikes going all the way from left to right, except on the very left, sticks in my mind as just being a particularly nasty trick, so definitely watch yourself. If you choose to play this game, that is. Decent quality title, but again, like I said, very little substance. Here are Mega Man 2 Mets, interestingly enough. I didn't let them walk around and attack, but they are not the stationary Mega Man 1 Mets that were present earlier. Alright, nice. Barely managed to make it out of that hole. Let's see here. Rolling Cutter is good for this. Here's a situation in which you'll need a carry to get over this platform arbitrarily. You can get some ammo for your weapons here if you have quick enough reflexes. Really, these ammo pickup areas are just kind of badly designed. A lot of the geometry in this stage, I would say, is poorly designed. Stick to the left here. Okay, alright. I still died, even knowing exactly what I was getting into. That's really awesome. I really love that layout. Truly one of the game designs of all time. Let's cut. I died an additional time from that same room on the exact same last leftmost pixel spike I hit the first time. God, what a terribly designed area. Anyways, I think we're approaching the end of the stage. We got PPs from Mega Man 2 that appear for a split second for, again, seemingly no reason. Very strange design decisions in this stage as a whole. It's very bizarre, like, hodgepodge of assets going on here. Alright, can I get up, please? This is a really thrilling gameplay, as you can tell. Truly entertaining. Walk through a hallway very slowly and shoot one weapon over and over again. This game, alongside Mega Man, Game Boy 3, 4, and 5, were made by Minakusha Engineering, the same company that developed X3, interestingly enough. I gotta say they got a lot better at it as time went on, because this entry makes a pretty mediocre first splash, but those other ones are quite good, especially 4 and 5. Ugh, crap. Whoa. Yeah. another attempt at a nasty trick. So here's where things get kind of weird with this game. So there are these 4 teleporters, and usually in the Game Boy games, these lead to other stages, or the concept actually developed over time. But, you know, you might be thinking 4 more stages, right? Like Mega Man games usually have 8 stages, so here they are. And, you know, in Mega Man 2 Game Boy, that is the case. That is how it works. But in this game, we do not have that luxury. We just get boss fights. So I, of course, stumbled into Quickman's room by complete accident. Probably the worst singular one I could have accidentally went into. Looks like you want to take damage from the boomerangs instead of him. He doesn't do that much damage. Or his body does a lot of damage. His boomerangs don't. And, yeah. You just get these atomized boss fights. You still get the weapons to use for approximately 5 more minutes of gameplay, which is cool, I suppose, but another very, very odd design decision, in my opinion. I think Heatman is in the lower left, so let's try this one. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I didn't pick Heatman. So these Mega Man 2 Robot Masters have their own internalized weakness chain. So Bubbleman is now weak to the Quick Boomerang, Heatman is still weak to the Bubble Lead, and Quickman still does not like Time Stopper. And Flashman is in the last teleporter. We got Bubbleman, Heatman, Flashman, and Quickman. Interestingly enough, Flashman, all the bosses take a decent amount of damage from Atomic Fire, but Flashman is also secondarily weak to the Ice Slasher, which is probably the better pick since it's not going to be seeing much use for the rest of the game. What limited amount of game there is left to play, that is. At this point, the choice doesn't matter. We have both of the weaknesses. The AI for the Mega Man 2 Robot Masters is like slightly different. Like Quickman's jumps are a little different. Heatman, the little fire projectiles he shoots behaves differently, and he also always manages to get one volley out. You can't repeatedly make him go back in his little shell, which is not terribly impactful on how the fight goes, but it's just peculiar and kind of interesting. Bubbleman's AI, as far as I can tell, is the exact same, minus the weird sluggishness of his movements on account of the game being different. We want Ice Slasher. Here's Flashman. He's also fairly similar, except he jumps in a way more vertical way upon being hit. I believe his Time Stopper is also operates in a slightly different cycle than in the NES version. Not in a particularly meaningful way, but it is a little different. And of course we get Time Stopper, which, with Quickman defeated, we'll see probably no use. These weapons really don't live up to very much, unfortunately. And here we have the star of the show, a robot called Anchor. Interesting character, this one. He's one of the Mega Man killers, which are this series of robots that are exclusive to the Game Boy games. He just absorbs your shots and tries to shoot them back at you. He's playing nice this time, which is nice because I don't have any spare lives. But he'll pretty much walk back and forth like this, absorb your shots. Sometimes he'll mix it up by jumping or running at you, but fairly simple encounter. Really lore-wise, he's more interesting. Just a robot that was specifically built to kill Mega Man that's exclusive to this game. Followed up by a similar robot in every future entry. Quint, Punk, Belade, Terra, I believe technically. And I'll get to talking about those when their time comes. But from Anchor we get the Mirror Buster. And one trend with the Mega Man Game Boy games that's fairly interesting is that you always need the killer's weapon to defeat the final boss. So we'll be seeing use of Mirror Buster in a plot-important context. It's probably best that I kill myself here just so I don't run out of lives and replay the whole stage, so let's do that. Alright, well, I'm finally back. Guess who had to replay the first stage after selecting the wrong option? Yeah, that's me. I found out that that spawns on the screen can apparently shoot you before you even move, which is a pretty rude awakening to this stage. But either way, this is the finale of the game, this space station location. Something else that rhymes with Asian. Anyways, not terribly eventful. I imagine if this were in color, it might be a little more noteworthy, but it's really just another generic Wily Stage. Has a few bizarre and unique assets in it that I'll talk about as they appear, but otherwise it's just your run-of-the-mill, mash everything kind of together Wily Stage. Interesting how the electricity doesn't even have like a marker. It just kind of comes out of the floors and walls. I like that. Not really. Let me guess, hold left or die? Oh, okay. Surprisingly not this time. But you probably will get hit. Let's equip Carry. Yeah, here's another obnoxious Yoku Block segment. Let me see if I remember where the tricks are. Probably won't. Or are there any tricks in this one? There probably are somewhere. Huh, okay. That was pretty gentle, all things considered. Just run real fast before the PPs lag the game to shit. Another big eye encounter. Yeah, Rolling Cutter actually does a really good job at those. Oh boy. Alright. Ice Slasher actually putting in a little bit of work. That's nice. Another one? Yeah. There we go. Perfectly dispatched. Whoa. I think this is the segment that has a nasty trick in it. Can't remember though. Yeah. Yep, I was right. Nasty, nasty trick. Yeah, I knew it. Whenever it goes low like that, your fight or flight should kind of kick in. Yep. Not too hard once you get used to the pattern, though. There you go. Totally doable. Whoa. Alright. Interesting behavior there. We're not really going to get to make great use out of these Mega Man 2 weapons. They largely behave the same as their NES counterparts. Except, you know, Bubble Lead... Actually, Bubble Lead is a little bit better in this version because it pierces enemies and does just more damage overall. It's actually not bad. Unfortunately, you get to use it for a grand total of about 5 minutes, so that kind of hampers its usability, but whenever those things stick out and end up hitting me, it pisses me off. Is it possible to get up here? I don't know. Yeah, Bubble Lead actually does a really good job killing these cutter things, and fortunately you won't need it for the final boss, so feel free to use it up. Let me guess. Definitely want to get rid of this thing before it spawns the birds. Alright. Not what I was expecting to happen, but... Awesome. Anyways, after that slogfest, these metallic blocks can only be destroyed by atomic fire. Very weird mechanic to throw in the end, but you're going to want to save your atomic fire ammo for the final boss, so unless you really need that life, I wouldn't recommend going for it. Nor would I recommend going for... Oh, wait. I really dislike that these things shoot as soon as they're vulnerable. This stage is also quite long. And also those Chang Keymakers tend to extend their hitboxes, by stretching their arms, which is annoying. Okay, almost... See... game really does pull some annoying layouts out of its ass. Oh, and I'm out of... nope. Bubble is actually good for this, yeah. Bubble is surprisingly useful in this stage. Genuinely really does kill most things quite fast. No. Nice. Whoa. Alright. Nice life grab. And, well, this is the final boss. We're not really in good shape, but I will get to explain the pattern a little bit. So this bizarre Wily machine has two phases. The first phase just shoots these cutting wheels like this. The best place to stand is about where I was standing. You just have to try and react fast to the wheel that comes directly at you. You want atomic fire for this phase. Try to avoid hitting the cutting wheels with it, as you don't get that many shots of it. Once the mouth is destroyed, immediately switch to Mirror Buster. The final phase does not take damage from any other weapon. The pattern for the second phase isn't particularly much more involved. You'll see this little cannon in the middle of his body, and then this claw. The only thing you can do to damage this boss is deflect the shots of the little cannon. Try to lure the claw away by getting close and retreating. Kind of like that. The little cannon only alternates between going up and down, so it's really easy to bait the claw and just wait for Wily to shoot himself to death. Not particularly entertaining, to be quite frank, but... yeah, I'm realizing the last two stages were actually pretty long on themselves. Maybe I should have stuffed Fireman's stage in the first video. Not like it matters since the game is over, but yeah. This one is definitely a quickie. Start to finish won't even take you an hour, even if you end up sucking kind of ass like I did, slightly. Well, I had to replay part of it, but here we get this ending cinematic of Mega Man leaving on a shuttle after blowing up that space castle. Like most of the early era classic Mega Man games, not much about the story is actually explained in-game. Just show up, blow a bunch of stuff up, leave. No in-game lore for Anchor, really. Like, wasn't even... actually, he's named in this enemy role, but aside from that, you wouldn't even know anything about the guy. So, opinions about the game. To be honest, I think I would describe it as that this exists, and not much more beyond that. I'm sure that for the standards of 1991 or 2, or whenever this was released, it was pretty cool. Probably nice to play Mega Man on the go as a kid in that era. Or maybe you didn't own the NES and were a handheld gamer instead, so this scratched that itch. But overall, not much reason to play this over Mega Man 1 or 2, for that matter, the both of them. This game reuses content almost exclusively from those two games, with very little in the way of original stuff. Anchor being the only exception, and I don't know if he saved the game, really. But this is a thing that exists. It is cool to talk about, to look back on. The teams responsible for the Game Boy games definitely got better at their jobs as time went on. This one is really egregiously short compared to all of its sequels. Even the second one, even by the second entry, we have like almost double the amount of stages. Every Robot Master actually gets their own stage, which I think is kind of important. Because with the boss fights in this one, kind of just show up, blow up, and you never really think about it twice. So, yeah. In any case, that's Mega Man 1 on Game Boy. Or Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge. A few funny Japanese to English mistranslations / like weird localizations can be seen in this scene, like Bunby Harry, which should be Bunby Helly. Here we get proper mugshots for some of the Mega Man 1 Robot Masters, which is pretty cool. They did receive them in Mega Man 3, but I like these portraits too. They're pretty neat. I always forget about this credits track. Not a piece of music that's referenced very much at all. This one of Heatman is kind of cute. He looks so happy. Really not too much else for me to say. There's Anchor. And Mega Man walks off, as he often does. And that's really the end of it. Thank you all for joining me for this quick little series. Stay tuned for whatever comes next. Possibly more Game Boy titles, but regardless, it should be coming your way somewhat soon. Thank you all for watching. This is Xeno, signing off. Bye-bye.